Ever since the Mega symbol was teased, we've all been waiting to find out what Pokemon would receive the first new Mega evolution in a long time. But the newest Pokemon Legends CA trailer still didn't reveal a single new Mega evolution. So I've decided to go through and rank every single Pokemon that could possibly receive a new Mega evolution in these games. And of course, we gotta start with Gen 1, and that means Charizard. Enough already! Haven't we gotten enough Charizard forms? Accept it, it's going to happen. And I was about to say that Charizard is the only Pokemon that's already gotten a Mega that I'm going to be ranking, but it looks like Beedrill found a way to sneak its way on this list, so give me a second.
You like jazz?
But moving on to some options that could realistically happen. Butterfree, we already got Gigantamax Butterfree, and I don't know if Mega Butterfree would look much different, so I'm just gonna put that in Sure. Wasting a Mega evolution on Raticate would disgust me. We're not doing that. It already got a regional form, and you know what? Good for Raticate and all of the Raticate fans. You got something. Fearo's an interesting one. We've really never gotten anything for Fearow. Obviously, we got Mega Pidgeot. I want to put it in I See the Vision, but I don't really see the vision. We've gotten so much from Gen 1 Pokemon, and I don't think we need to waste a Mega on Fearow. But Arbok, I think this should get a Mega or something. Please, 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 please. It would be very cool. You know, the face changing. I just think this is a Pokemon with a little bit of meat on the bone of what we could do design-wise. I'm putting Raichu in enough already. We've gotten so many Pikachu forms. We've gotten new things for Raichu. Just leave this family alone for one game. Enough already. I'm really happy Sandslash has gotten something, but that's enough for Sandslash. I mean, I like Sandslash, but it's Sandslash, you know? Now, two Pokemon that haven't gotten anything and deserve the world. Nidoqueen and Nidoking. And you know what? I'm actually putting them in the PM7 guarantee. I guarantee that one of these two is getting something. It just feels right. I feel like it's been weird to ignore these two. So Clefable's a really interesting Pokemon. It got the fairy type, which really changed everything about the Pokemon, and it doesn't have great base stats. So I do see the vision, but it's not a Pokemon that really needs to get better. It doesn't need more love. I'm putting Ninetales into Sure. It's already gotten something. It's a cool Pokemon. Sure. Wigglytuff is a balloon. I don't need it. You make it, I pop it. The next three are pretty interesting. I feel like all three would be pretty worthy Mega evolutions. You know, I think Parasect needs it the most. So I'm gonna put that in I See the Vision. I do like Vileplume, so I'm also gonna put that in I See the Vision. I think Venomoth's just like Sure. I thought I was gonna put Dugtrio in enough already, but the last time we saw something with Dugtrio, they gave it incredible hair, right? I See the Vision. If you're going to make this Pokemon sillier or more fashionable, maybe they all get hats, I think that would be pretty cool. I see the vision if we're gonna up the silly meter. If we're gonna take it seriously, I'm putting it down into enough already. Speaking of enough already, no, we do not need anything from Persian. We've seen enough. Enough. Golduck is an interesting one. I'm gonna put it into Sure, mostly because I do not trust them to do what they need to do. I think it should be a golden duck when it mega evolves, and I think it should be psychic type. And if you're not gonna do that, you're an unserious business, and I don't wanna talk with you. Arcanine, I'm gonna have to put into enough already. We just got something from this in Legends Arceus. There's no world where we're gonna get another thing in Legends ZA, right? But what we do desperately need is a Mega Poliwrath. This Pokemon has been beyond forgotten about. We got Politoed in Gen 2, and I love Politoed, but they gave that thing Drizzle, and now it is so usable. It's completely remembered over this thing. They need to do something to make Poliwrath worthwhile. Right now, there's no reason to have this on your team. It's not even the only frog that can punch people. Yeah, we got Toxicroak. So speaking of please, 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 and punching people, this is all bias, but it's my list. So I'm putting Machamp in please, please, please. It's my second favorite Pokemon. Just give it 2 more arms. Come on. You know you want to give him more arms and make him stronger. It'd be very cool. I think I see the vision with Victory Bell. It's a really cool Pokemon that I think a lot of people forget about at this point. And if you give it a Mega Evolution, you could just make it a bigger, scarier, man-eating plant. That's pretty good. It's a plant and it eats people. Who doesn't want that on their team? Come on. But looking at Tentacruel, it does remind me of something I forgot. We don't just have Mega Evolutions and regional forms. We actually now have like just completely different forms that are like related with Wugtrio, and then Toedscruel. So I think you're enough already, and I think Dugtrio needs to bump down to enough already, even if they want to give him hats. And as much as I love Golem, I think we gotta say enough already. And same with Rapidash, enough already. There's a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon that have gotten maybe too much love, and I really want the Megas to be spread around. Farfetch itself doesn't disgust me, but it would actually disgust me to get anything after Surfetched. That was the perfect way to improve Farfetch and just continue that line. We're done. I'm actually kind of shocked we haven't gotten anything for Dodrio. And for that reason, I think I'm going to put it into Shore. And if they want to take my silly hat idea from Dugtrio and put it on Dodrio, I might bump that up into I See the Vision. Dugong absolutely disgusts me. It disgusts me that this Pokemon was made. I don't need it to be made better. I would like to forget about it. No, I say no. I'm gonna go ahead and move Muck and then also Weezing into enough already. They go together, and Weezing even got the fun hats I've been talking about. So I think enough. We've done what we need to do here. I am kind of shocked we've never gotten anything for Cloyster. It might be a hard Pokemon to design a Mega for. For that reason, maybe I just throw it into Shore. If they have the right design, I think this could be cool. I think for now, Shore. We don't need Mega Hypno. We don't need that. Nobody needs that. I would have said we desperately need Mega Kingler, but Gigantamax Kingler is perfect. It has a beard for some reason, so I'm not gonna put it into enough already. I kind of just wish they could take the Gigantamax and move it over here into Mega Land. I really wanted Electrode to get a Mega, but it just got a regional form in the last Legends game, so I think we gotta put it into enough already. And if we're gonna do that, we have to do Executor, as I'm pretty sure Alolan Executor is one of the most like recognizable regional forms we have, so might be a little overkill to do another thing for this guy. Marowak's regional form's very cool too, so I think that's probably another enough already. But Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee are really interesting as a pair, and I guess with Hitmontop, they'd kind of have to be a trio, and I think for that reason, I'm going to put them into Shore. It'd be kind of cool to see all of them get something in these new games, especially if it's a Mega, but taking up 3 Mega slots for the same kind of a thing, I don't know, I think that would be a waste. Maybe we could just get another evolution of these guys, that would be kind of cool, but that's a whole different video. You disgust me. You disgust me. I hate you. Why are you here? Don't make it better. Let us forget about it. You super glued a Hoenn to a goldfish and thought nobody would notice. Well, this guy noticed. You did the same thing to Dugong. I noticed. Starmie's a pretty cool Pokemon, but the whole thing with Starmie, it's 2 Starmie stuck together, and I'm worried if they tried to come up with a Mega for this, they would not stick the landing. So I'm gonna put it into Shore. I don't see the vision. We've already gotten something for a lot of these next Pokemon, so enough with you. We finally got Tauros, which made me happy, so unfortunately, enough with you. Gigantamax is not as cool as Megas, but we did get one, so enough already, Lapras. But we've never gotten anything from Jinx, and we actually saw that we were supposed to get Mega Jinx, which is crazy. So I'm gonna say I see the vision. I'm not gonna guarantee it, they scrapped it for a reason. I don't desperately want it myself, but I definitely see the vision, and it would be cool for them to go back and throw something in the game that they scrapped. Ditto. Mega Ditto would go crazy. I see the vision here. I don't know what they would do, but it would be very cool. The evolutions are very interesting. I remember one of the first viral videos I ever made in my career was talking about how we were definitely going to get a dragon type evolution in Pokemon X and Y. That obviously never happened, and I am really hopeful it finally happens. So I'm going to throw these guys into, I think, a new tier. No Mega, yes Dragon. No Mega, yes Dragon. No Mega, yes Dragon. These ones are stumping me, I gotta be honest. Because we did get Mega Aerodactyl, it's not on this list for a reason. So we could get Mega Omastar and Mega Kabutops, and I do love Kabutops, and Omastar's pretty cool. But if we're gonna get Mega Fossils, it would probably be the Gen 6 fossils, right? So I think I'm going to put them in I See the Vision. Like, I could see it happening, and both of them are sick, but I don't think it's likely. And I'm definitely gonna put the Gen 6 fossils in PM7 guarantee, but I don't know. That's an interesting one. I'm gonna put Snorlax into Shore. If we got Mega Snorlax, I'd probably like it, but we've already gotten stuff for Snorlax and it really doesn't need a Mega, so sure, it'd be pretty cool, but I assumed I'd put most legendaries in the Legend Dump, but I actually think we're gonna put them into enough already. Like, we've already gotten new forms for these three. Enough. Very cool that they did that, but enough. But Dragonite, that's definitely going to be a PM7 guarantee. I would prefer if every new Mega Evolution was a Pokemon that needed some love or a kind of bad Pokemon getting much better. But they do like giving pseudo legendaries Megas, and it's really weird that we've never gotten anything new for Dragonite. I mean, he's waving at us. He's like, hello, don't forget about me. Remember me? I'm Dragonite. Hey. I think we should give it some love. We don't have Mewtwo on the list. I wanted to have Charizard as the only one for the Charizard Z gag, but I wonder if we would get a Mega Mew instead of Mega Mewtwo Z. I think I'm gonna put that in I See the Vision. That would be pretty cool. You know, going back to the Mewtwo, well, that could be overkill, but I don't know. But that is Gen 1, and now we move on to Gen 2, which has kind of stolen the headlines with two of these fellas getting into the game as starters. Now, we're in a very weird situation, as we had Typhlosion get a regional form in Legends Arceus, but obviously no new Mega. So I think that should guarantee that Meganium and Feraligatr get regional forms rather than Megas, and then the Gen 6 starters get Megas. But who really knows? So, man, I don't know what to do here. I think it only makes sense to make another category for these guys. I don't know where else I would put them. I think this is the only thing that makes sense. I don't know if any of these other categories would really fit for them. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Fairy, Grass, Meganium. They probably also don't want to do Mega Meganium, so this works. Typhlosion, we've already gotten enough from you, so you can sit this one out. But I think those starters are gonna be regional forms. Maybe I'm getting bamboozled and they'll get Megas, but this feels to be a sure thing. I kind of like just keeping Furret the way it is. It doesn't disgust me, but I like all of the memes of Furret. Just, you know, he's kind of doing his thing. Just kind of let him do his thing. Leave him alone. He doesn't need a Mega. Noctowl. Now that's one where I see the vision. Like, I've seen a lot of people think about like an Icy Owl for this. I do feel like Noctowl is destined to get a regional form at some point, so I might as well take advantage of this category. This might be mean, but I'm gonna put Ledian in You Disgust Me, and then I'm going to actually put Ariados in I See the Vision. There's been a few times where they gave, you know, one Pokemon in what seemed to be a pair something new, and the other one nothing. And Ledian's just, it's so far beyond saving. Just leave it alone. It is what it is. But Ariados, pretty cool. Think it could be better. Why not? Bigger spider, better Pokemon. Crobat's an interesting one. Obviously a Gen 2 evolution. They made Golbat worth something. And I don't know if we really need something more for Crobat. What, we're gonna make it faster? I don't think so. But I'd be open to see what they could do with Crobat. It's been a while, obviously, since we touched this line, and I don't really want Swoobat to get the Mega Evolution. That would be upsetting, so sure. I see the vision on Lantern. I don't think it's a please, please, please or a guarantee, but I see where this could use a Mega, and I think it could be a pretty cool Pokemon, but I'm not completely sold. Sawtooth's interesting. It's a bird. It's a cool bird. Decently memorable bird. I don't know. Sure. And I actually don't see the vision with Blossom. I'm gonna put that in You Disgust Me, because it would disgust me for this to get a Mega while Vileplume just, I don't know, wastes away. I do like Azumarill, but enough already. We don't need Mega Peekaboo. Like, just enough. Oh, Sudowoodo, you fraudulent tree. I actually think this is going to be in a please, 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 please. As a kid, Sudowoodo felt so special when you encountered it early in Pokemon Gold and Silver. I just thought it was gonna be so much better than it was, but it wasn't. It stinks out loud, and then they gave it a baby form. That's disrespectful. Like, what are we doing here? Let's give this thing a Mega. I would be so happy to see a Mega Politoed. I don't think it deserves a Mega over Poliwrath, but I'm gonna put it in I See the Vision. It's really cool. It should be ranked lower. This is all my own bias, but that's the whole point of this list, so Jumpluff. Sure. This might be bold, but I'm actually gonna put Sunflora in the PM7 guarantee. I recently went to a Van Gogh exhibit, I looked at a lot of the sunflower paintings. Those were painted in France. I'm just putting things together, and we haven't done much with Sunflora, but we did have it be a pretty big part of one of the gyms in the Gen 9 games. Where there's smoke, there could be fire. We just got something for Quagsire. Enough. I'm sorry. That might upset people. Enough. No Mega, yes, Dragon. No Mega, yes, Dragon. And enough already with you as well. Let someone else have some fun. Now, Mega Unknown would be super cool. And I'm just gonna put this in I see the vision. I don't personally see it happening though. Mega Wobbuffet would disgust me. That would only upset me. It would only be a nightmare to go against. It would not be fun to use. No. I think I'm gonna put Fortress and Shore. It doesn't need a Mega. It's good enough already. I wouldn't be like super upset to see it, but sure. Granbull's an interesting one. It's a Pokemon that got better with the Fairy type, which was introduced in Gen 6. So I could see it then get a Mega as well, as it's still not very good, but I don't know if I need it to get a Mega. Love Quillfish, but enough. I'm pretty sure there's some people out there that believe we need a Mega Shuckle, but I'm telling you right now, that thing would disgust me, you, and everybody. It would be a nightmare to go against. It would not be fun to use. We do not need that. He's a fun little guy. No. And what? There's gonna be a bigger rock and then more heads are poking out of the rock? I don't think so. Mag Cargo. If I was in charge of making decisions for French Megas, we would be getting a Mega Mag Cargo. I'm not putting it in the BM7 guarantee, but please, 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 please. The Mega S Cargo would be very funny to me and maybe only me. So please make it happen. It's weird to say we don't need Mega Corsola, but we got Corsola, so enough. We don't need it. Octillery though, that one, we need something. I mean, it's a fish that's a gun, and then it's an octopus that's a tank. Yeah, no, I see the vision here. I don't know what we're going to next, but there's definitely some very ridiculous thing it could evolve into. Delibird. I did actually forget about the Paradox forms. Wow, I completely forgot about that when I was looking up Pokemon that have gotten things. With that being said, it would actually disgust me to get a Mega Delibird. Iron Bundle is so incredibly good. I think that's enough. Come on. Yeah, I'm putting Mantine into please, 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 please. I loved Mantine as a kid. Another Pokemon that's not amazing, that just got a baby form. There's more we can do here. I know there's more we can do here. Just don't make it an actual kite in the sky. Getting Mega Skarmory would be revolting. It is such a good Pokemon. It's been so good from the beginning. We do not need to make this thing better. I don't care if we've gotten another Steel Flying Pokemon that's pretty good. Skarmory is good enough. We do not need to make this thing stronger. Kinger's pretty interesting. I don't think I see the vision, but I wouldn't be upset with it. Donphan. Elephants are my favorite animals. I want to put this higher, but I think I have to put it in to You Disgust Me. It would be a little disgusting to waste a Mega on this after all of the love it recently got. Smeargle. I don't know. Sure. We already talked about Hitmonchan.
Who's that Pokemon?
Just putting that with its pals. Miltank. I don't personally want Mega Miltank, but I do think it would be incredibly funny to just see everyone's reaction to how ridiculous it looks and how evil it would be to face in battle. And for that reason, I see the vision. I see the nightmare, but I do see it. This would disgust me. Just disgust me. And enough already with these. Weirdly, like none of the legendaries are going in the legendary dump, but we got new stuff with them. Enough. I could be missing something, but I don't really think Lugia and Ho-Oh have much of a chance here, so I think they make sense in the dump. And unless French people really like onions and I just didn't know that, I'm gonna put them here. I mean, I'm pretty French and I don't look at Celebi and go, wee wee! It's an onion. Now it's time to move on to Gen 3, and I think this is gonna be a pretty easy generation to move through, as we already got so many Gen 3 Pokemon as Megas with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So I don't know if there's gonna be many here that I'm gonna wanna give a Mega. Mightyena could definitely use one, but I don't know, sure. Same with Lanoon, sure. Wasting them on Beautifly and Dustox, that would disgust me, it really would. And I actually think it would disgust me if they did it for Ludicolo and Shiftry as well. I feel like you'd have to do both of them, and we've already gotten enough Gen 3, it'd be a waste. There's a lot of middling birds out there that could be made stronger, so So I don't know. You're a shore. But Pelipper is enough already. Drizzle is so much more than Pelipper ever deserved, and it's something I actually hoped for and predicted. It happened. I'm happy. Let's move on. Masquerain. You want to talk about a Pokemon that desperately needs a Mega? It's Masquerain. So I'm actually going to put that into I See the Vision. If we're going to give something in Gen 3 a Mega, like something that just desperately needs it. Breloom would be cool, but it's already so good. So I'm going to put it into Shore. I'm going to put Slacking into regional forms. I feel like a Mega would not make any sense, but it'd be kind of cool to see this just a little bit different. You know, I don't know how much you can change this up without making it broken. I don't see what they could do with Ninjask and Shedinja. I think that might be over here. It'd be a bit of a waste. Sure, with Exploud, I guess. Maybe these next 5 are gonna be, you disgust me. It might be a little harsh on Delcatty, but I don't need to remember it exists. We're not doing these guys, and we're definitely not doing these two. Are you kidding me? But Swalot with his fancy little mustache. I think I can see the vision here. Making Wailord even bigger would be really awesome. I don't think they'll do it for a lot of reasons, but it'd be pretty cool. I see the vision. Torkoal is kind of like Pelipper, you know, it's got drought. That's probably enough. It makes it somewhat relevant. We got Camera up too, so I mean, sure, you know, they kind of go together-ish, kinda, maybe. Grumpig. There's someone who wants a Mega Grumpig, and you know what? Sure. I think Mega Spinda could go crazy, especially if every Mega form had the different patterns. That might be too much. I see the vision here. I really do. So we know they wanted to make Mega Flygon. Does that mean we are guaranteed to get it finally? Or does that mean it's just a big desire and they've completely shelved it? I'm actually gonna put it in PM7 guarantee. People have said for years that they're out of Pokemon ideas. They're never gonna come up with anything new and creative. The designs are getting worse. And that's just not true. Some of the new Pokemon are the coolest Pokemon we've really ever seen. They have to have someone on their team that can come up with Mega Flygon. I believe it. They wanted to do it. Now's the time. Ooh, I'd like Cacturn to get a Mega, but I feel like Maractus has a better chance. So I think I'm gonna put it into Shore. Ooh, Zangoose and Seviper. I do see the vision on this duo. I really do. I don't think it's gonna happen, but they're unique enough and they both absolutely need some love. We're not doing this. It would disgust me to get these guys. Sun and Moon, that's the time to give these guys Megas, not now. Sure. You can get a Mega. I feel like a Mega for Crawdaunt would be worthwhile. It's definitely a Pokemon that's easy to forget about, and I think it could get cooler. Sure with Claydol, sure. If Cradily and Armaldo were going to get Megas, they would have already gotten Megas. So I'm gonna put these into enough already. Just enough with Gen 3, just enough. And actually, now that I say that, maybe I should put some more of the Shores into enough already as just a enough with Gen 3. That was actually a pretty big change, and I think it makes sense. Enough with Gen 3, and I'm actually going to put Melodic in enough already. It's such a good Pokemon. It's such a cool Pokemon. Don't waste a Mega on a Pokemon like Melodic. Yeah, this one's pretty easy. I'm throwing Cast Form and you disgust me. It's just not the time to do something for Cast Form. And if I'm gonna be fair, I think I should say the same for Kecleon, but I will not say the same thing for Tropius. I think this Pokemon needs a Mega more than almost any other Pokemon. Why is it bad? Why hasn't it gotten any love? Where is its Mega? It's time. And shockingly, I'm gonna do the same with Chimecho. I hate Chimecho, and I hate Chingling even more. But it is so infuriating that Pokemon so bad, like Sudowoodo, Mantine, and Chimecho all got baby forms. Why did they get baby forms? They should have all gotten evolutions. It's crazy. I like Walrein. I'm actually gonna put that into Shore. Huntail and Gorobus. I feel like it would be cool to get like a third form that was like a regional form. If anything for these, I don't think they need Megas though. Relincanth would be very cool. I very much see the vision on this guy. I think there's a little bit more they can do with it. They wouldn't give it to Luvdisc. They would give it to Alomomola. They just, no. Enough with the Reggies. Weirdly enough, enough with them. We don't need more with that. We don't need more Deoxys forms. And I don't think we're gonna see Jirachis. We just toss it there. As I suspected, Gen 3 was pretty easy, but the start of Gen 4 is actually pretty interesting, especially when you look at Empoleon. A lot of people were expecting Piplup to be one of the starters for Legends ZA, and the big reason behind that was Mega but we got 2 Gen 2 starters. So now both Legends games feature all 3 3 of the Gen 2 starters as options. So maybe that means those guys will get the regional forms and Empoleon will get a mega form. And I think I'm ready to put a guarantee on that. All Gen 1 starters got megas. All Gen 3 starters got megas. It looks like all Gen 2 starters are going to get regional forms. So will we get mega forms for all the Gen 4 starters and then all of the Gen 6 starters? And then the Gen 5 starters will also get regional forms? I think that could make sense. And if I'm going to guarantee one, I think I need to guarantee all of them. But if that does happen, that may be a bad thing for a lot of our other Gen 4 friends. So I think with Staraptor, I feel like Staraptor's probably already good enough. It would kind of disgust me to do something with the barrel. Just leave it the way it is. Bidoof is perfect. Bidoof is the most powerful Pokemon. And don't waste one on Kricketune. Like, are you kidding me? Don't do that. Mega Luxray is something I've thought about for a very long time. I'm actually gonna put that into the please, please, please category. And don't make it Electric Dark. Complete curveball. Roserade's a really cool Pokemon, but for that reason, I think it's enough already. I don't think these are the fossils that are gonna get megas, but they'd be cool. So I'll put them into Shore, but I just don't see it. I hate Burmy and Wormadam so much. I hate them so much. One of the forms is Wormadam trash, man. It's trash. They're all trash. They're so hard to get in any game. They're so bad. They're so useless. I'm sorry you get dragged down by the whole group, but you all gotta stay here. Vespiquen is kind of difficult to get, but I think it'd be a pretty cool mega option. It's a very unique and special Pokemon, but it stinks. So let's fix that. No Pikachu clones. Come on. This thing won a world championship. It doesn't need a mega. Sure, with Floatzel. It's a Pokemon. No, you disgust me too. We're not doing it. Gastrodon. Just give me a regional form. Just do it. Gastrodon Weast. Make it happen. Make it a reality. There's the escargot factor here. But I think this would be more fun as a regional form, and then the Magcargo gets the mega. I think that's how this works. And it's already a fantastic Pokemon, so it doesn't really need a mega. We don't need to give Ambipom more tails. Enough already. The Ghosty Ghouls are actually kind of interesting here. But if any of these Pokemon were going to get a mega, I actually would rather see Spiritomb. It's such a unique, special Pokemon that I'd love it to get a little bit more love. And while I think Drifblim and Mismagius could be cool, Mismagius is already an evolution, so we really don't need that. And Drifblim and Drifloon are menaces. They steal children. That's bad. I'm gonna put that in You Disgust Me. It would be disgusting to read about the crimes that Mega Drifblim would commit. But Honchkrow is a pretty cool Pokemon. But can it really get much cooler? Probably not. No, I think that's probably a Sure. The Ugly Cat and the Stinky Skunk. Sure. I don't know. Bronzong is good enough. I actually think enough already with this fella. Back in the day, Chatot was one of the most infuriating Pokemon to go against competitively, at least in like the lower tiers I played. I've never forgiven it. It would disgust me. I don't want it at all. Hippowdon's a really good Pokemon. I think a Mega Hippowdon would be unbearable to play against. Drapion would be kind of cool. I'm gonna put that into Shore, but I'm gonna put Mega Toxicroak into I See the Vision. I wouldn't say please, please, please. I think of all of the frog Pokemon, this one doesn't desperately need it, but it would be cool. Now, Cardivine absolutely needs a Mega. I'm putting it into please, please, please. Basically in the Tropius category. Give us one of the two. And please don't make it Maractus. We don't need to remember that this is a Pokemon. We really don't. Why did they make the Sneasler? Enough! We don't need more Sneasel. Enough, okay? God, enough. We also don't need more magnets altogether. I think you can go up there real quick, buddy. We definitely don't need more Licky. That felt crazy to say. We're moving past it. They tried. It's there. Mega Rhyperior would be a mess, man. It would be a mess. I think this would be a ridiculous Mega, and they probably shouldn't attempt it, but the Mega Spaghetti Monster would be a sight. I think for a lot of the next ones, it's just enough. I probably already spent too much time on a lot of the Gen 4 evolutions, but so many of them are so good, and I think they absolutely nailed it for Pokemon that desperately needed some love way before we got Megas, and I think we can just leave them alone. And the one that will be an exception is, it's just because it's my favorite Pokemon of all time. I see the vision for my happiness. I think it would be broken. It would probably be too good. I'm not going to say please, 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 because I understand that it's already bold to say I see the vision here, but I love elephants. I love woolly mammoths. I know they're different, but it's close enough. I love Mamoswine. You know what? Screw it. I'm putting into please, please, please. Why can't my favorite Pokemon be way too broken? No Mega, yes Dragon. I'm gonna actually put Rotom into Buzz Off. They've turned it into a Pokedex. It doesn't need more forms. It's our Pokedex now, okay? Like, just buzz off. You're annoying me in too many playthroughs these days. I have a weird feeling we might get like a fourth of the Lake Trio, but I think it just makes sense to put them in the Legend Dump. And I'm gonna actually put, I think, all of these guys in the Legend Dump. I don't see any of these getting a Mega. I don't know why they would get a Mega. It'd be really random. And maybe I'm missing something, but I think this may just be an easy decision. I don't know why they chose Audino. Gen 5 has so many Pokemon to choose from, and a lot of them could definitely benefit from Megas. I can guarantee we're getting new Mega evolutions for Gen 5 Pokemon in these games, but I can't imagine Victini will be one of them. I think that's good to put next to Shaman in the Legend Dump. And the starters are odd. I think they're in the same category as the Gen 2 starters. Obviously, we got Hisui and Samurott. Emboar is a starter in this game, so I think it's going to get original form. And even though I thought Superior had a good chance of getting a Mega in these games, I think it's just going to be Pokemon that we get as a starter for the next Legend game, if that comes out in, I don't know, 2028. So I think they're pretty safe there. But then we got this fella, and this would disgust me as a Mega. This is in the Audino category. You're watching me, but I will not be watching you get a Mega Watchog. That's just not happening. Stoutland, I'd be fine with, but I think it would just kind of be like a sure. Maybe instead of sure, I'd say like nice. Liepard would disgust me, and these three would absolutely disgust me. I mean, I really just don't want anything that has multiple forms to get a Mega. It'd just be such a waste. Musharna is interesting. I can see the vision of giving it a Mega, make it, you know, actually worthwhile. Unpheasant. Faisan. I think I'd butcher its name, trying to say it like I was French. I really love Zebstrika. I think it's a super cool Pokemon, and it's just missing just a little bit more to be a special Pokemon. I worry that it could be too similar to Mega Manectric if they do give it a Mega, but they could figure out a way to make it stand on its own 4 legs. Hooves. Beatsy doodles. I don't know. Enough rocks, okay? It has enough rocks. I'm gonna have a pretty clear bias with some Gen 5 Pokemon, as a lot of these guys are just clear soft reboots of Gen 1 Pokemon. This is obviously the new version of Golbat. But if we're gonna fix this, just give it an evolution. Like, go the whole 9 yards. You got Crobat, give me, I don't know, Lovey Bat. I don't know, I don't care. Just don't give it a Mega. Excadrill is a phenomenal Pokemon. If you give this thing a Mega, it would probably be immediately broken. Enough with the mole, okay? They're going to give Conkeldurr a Mega to spite me, and it would disgust me. Give Machamp some love. What do you mean you get Mach Punch? How does that get Mach? I don't like it. It upsets me. It makes me angry. But Seismitoad doesn't make me angry. It's just a nice little toad. You know, it doesn't step on Poliwrath's toes too much. And I think I'm gonna put it into please, please, please. Bert and Ernie getting Megas over Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee would disgust me. That'd be pretty disgusting. I don't need that at all. I was so ready to mix up Leavanny and Lilligant and say that this thing got a regional form. That's obviously not the case. It's kind of a cool Pokemon. Sure. Scolipede. Now that's a cool Pokemon. I see the vision here. I mean, the speed boost ability on this thing definitely made it stand out and have a pretty interesting and unique niche. So I don't think it desperately needs one, but I say the vision, that'd be cool. Mega Whimsicott would only be used for evil. Enough. Don't do that. Don't do it. And I actually think the next two are gonna be enough already as well. There's so many Gen 5 Pokemon that need stuff. We don't need them getting more. And speaking of Gen 5 Pokemon that deserve some love, we got a lot of heavy hitters in a row, and I love Crocodile. I think this thing absolutely needs something special. I don't care if it's broken. Mega Crocodile would be so cool. And Darmanitan, it needs some love so badly. I don't care that it got a snowman form. Like, this form specifically needs some love. I just feel like we're getting Maractus. I don't know why. I think it's because I really want Tropius, Cardivine. I would love to see a Cacturn get it. But we got so much Gen 3. I think this thing needs something. This just feels like the game to do it. Crustle. I can see the vision. Just bigger, bolder. Scrafty. That's what I'm talking about. I'm throwing that into please, please, please. I just think it's a really cool Pokemon. I don't really need Mega Sigilyph, but I think it could make sense. Alphagregus. Cool Pokemon. We've already gotten something. I think I'll put it into enough already. No need to rehash what I've said earlier about fossil Pokemon. I think these guys are in the same category. It would actually ruin Archeops. This thing would just be so unbelievably broken. Actually, that would disgust me. It would like ruin the entire gimmick of this Pokemon. They gave Garbodor a Gigantamax form. Can you believe that? I can't. That's kind of crazy. That's more than enough. We just got something for this. We're not going to get something else for it too soon. And I think they nailed the regional form. I can see the vision on Minccino. I can see the vision here. Not much else to say. In my head, I kind of associate Gothitelle and Gardevoir a bit. So for that reason, I can see the vision of it getting a Mega. I don't really want it to get one though, so I'm just gonna throw it into Shore, I guess. But we desperately need Mega Reuniclus. Let me tell you right now, we need this. Is it possibly gonna be broken? Yes. Do I care? No, I don't. Honestly, I just like seeing this thing a new Pokemon Snap. Past that, don't care. I've come all the way around on the ice cream cone. You can definitely make a bigger ice cream sundae. You definitely can. I think there's enough going on with Sawsbuck. A Pika clone getting a Mega would disgust me. Don't do it. A Scavalier. Oh, I can see the vision here. We've definitely gotten enough Amogus in our lives. That's for sure. The Pringles man himself. Look at you. I don't really think we need to get something for this. We're gonna get Mega Alomola. I just feel like we're going to get it. We got Mega Audino. This is so Mega Audino coded. And so far, the only two guarantees I have are just two Gen 5 Pokemon I don't want to get Megas. I don't know why I'm going doom and gloom with Gen 5. Galvantula. Now that's a Pokemon where I can see the vision on this. We talked about it with Ariados. Yeah, you can make one of the spiders bigger. Enough already. I really like Ferrothorn, but it is such an evil Pokemon. It kind of feels like the kind of Pokemon that would make Mega for no good reason. Now this is a Pokemon that we need to get Mega. I've seen the ancient texts. I've seen what it could look like, but we need it. We need it so bad. Electros would be really cool. I see the vision here. And actually, I might put this into please, please, please. It's such a unique Pokemon that I feel like it needs some sort of a boost, and it would be pretty cool as a Mega. Bahium. I really did like Bahium back in the day. I see the vision here. If they're going to make something super broken, I think it would be very funny to bring back Shadow Tag, Chandelure in Mega form. Even if it would just kind of be copying Gengar's entire thing, I don't really care. It would be kind of funny. In both Pokemon games that introduced Mega Pokemon, we've gotten 2 new Mega Pseudo Legendaries each. And for that reason, I don't think we're going to get one for Hydreigon in these games. I could see the vision just because it's a Pseudo Legendary and they like giving Pseudo Legendaries Megas. But I think the dragon that could get a Mega in these games would be Haxorus. Now, it could be a little ridiculous, but it's just such a cool Pokemon. A lot of people really love it. Beartic. Sure, I'm not really feeling it here. I personally love Cragonal. It just grew on me as the years went on. I see the vision here. I don't desperately need it, but I see the vision. A Celigore. Maybe a pretty cool one. I think I'm gonna put it into Shore, actually. I mean, it's so fast, we're gonna make it. I don't know, like 200 speed. Might be a little overkill, but it's crazy that we've gotten anything for Stunfisk. Enough Stunfisk already. Just enough with it. I've always really liked Mienshao. I definitely see the vision here. One of my favorites from this gen. Druddigon's a tough one. I don't know if I want it to get a Mega, but I do know it deserves some love. But I at least see the vision of what they could do here. I love Golurk. I think it's one of the coolest Pokemon ever. And I feel like we've gotten a lot of Golurk love in the past, but it's never gotten a new form. I'm actually gonna put this in my guarantee for now. I might change that. If anything, it's just gonna drop to please, please, please. Bouffalant's interesting. I guess you can give something to this now that you gave something to Tauros finally. I don't think they're giving the America bird a Mega in the French games. Sure, with Mandibuzz, I don't know. Heatmore and Durant are interesting as they're like the new version of Seviper and Zangoose. I'd rather those two get Megas, but I can see the vision on both of these guys. Enough with Volcarona. Very, very cool. Don't get me wrong, but we've gotten a lot. In the same way, we got a lot with these guys too. too. So I think they're in enough already as well. It's cool to see all these Pokemon get new forms. I hope that it gives some other Pokemon a chance to actually get Megas. The 3 Genies are pretty interesting because we did get a Namarus. So I don't know. I don't know if like there will be more with these guys in a new Legends game, but I feel like we could focus on new legendaries. So I'm gonna put them into enough already. Maybe I haven't looked enough into what people are predicting for these games, but I don't know if they make a return. And then for the rest of these, I think they go into the legend dump category. I'll put Genesect up here. I can see the vision. Maybe it's random, but this Pokemon's very sick. And you could definitely give it a Mega, right? They have cool armor on it. You can give it even more armor and more weapons, you know? I think there's something there. But I don't feel satisfied with my rankings for Gen 5 yet. I'm gonna dive into all of the Pokemon already confirmed for Legends ZA and see if that changes my mind a little bit. I would have thought more Gen 5 Pokemon were confirmed, but for now the list is Emboar, Crocodile, Watchog, Garbodor, Emolga, and Chandelure. And obviously their families in general. So going back to this list, I feel better and better about Chandelure being a possibility, but I'm not gonna put that as a guarantee. I don't think Watchog, we've never gotten an early route Pokemon as a Mega. I don't think so, at least. We did get Mega Pidgeot. I don't know how I forgot about that. Oh, I did put Watchog and you disgust me. With it being one of the few Pokemon we've already seen, I can see the vision there. I think the biggest change I'm gonna make is swapping Crocodile and Golurk. I would love Golurk. I think Crocodile is the most likely out of those. I'm pretty sure Ash had a Crocodile and it was pretty famous. I think Crocodile, there's something there. And I'm gonna actually move Alomomola into I See the Vision. I hope they don't give us another Mega Audino with Mega Alomomola, but I just have had a gut feeling with Maractus for a while. I do not know why. I feel confident that one of these two will be Mega. We'll see. But considering the next generation is Gen 6, I think that's where we're gonna get a lot of Mega Pokemon. So with that in mind, here are 3 Pokemon that I think will get Megas. And I'm ready to PM7 guarantee these 3. I honestly don't see a world where these 3 Pokemon don't get Mega Evolutions. We first got Megas in Pokemon X and Y, and we gave the Mega Evolutions to the Kanto starters instead of the starters we had in the game. And in ZA, we won't have these 3 as starters, which should free them up to take the Kanto spot and get those Megas. The starters were easy calls, but this is where things get a bit tricky. I know we're gonna have multiple Gen 6 Pokemon that get Megas, but thankfully, unlike Gen 3, it's a very small Pokedex, so I don't know. Maybe this will be easier than I'm thinking it will be. And starting with Diggersby, a Mega for this would be kind of weird. Like if you get rid of Huge Power, it's probably gonna be kind of bad. If it keeps Huge Power and gets 100 base stat total increase, it might be too good. I think enough already, kind of like a Azumarill. Talonflame is interesting, and I do actually see the vision here. This was a Pokemon that was so unbelievably powerful when it was first introduced, but then they nerfed its ability. Enough with Vivillon. Don't give it a new form. You can give it like new patterns. That would be cool, but a Mega, new forms, I don't think so. I kind of feel the same about Furfrou. I think they could do something really cool with the Mega. I don't know if they need to do that. I don't know. I'm very undecided with it, so I think it's in the middle of this tier list. This is tough. This is really tough. I might be a bit random with this, just as there's a few Pokemon that I'm very confident in. Goodra being one of them, this is getting a Mega. It just feels right. Oh, wow. I just said I was confident about Goodra, and I'm completely overlooking Hisui and Goodra. Oh, that could throw everything out the window. When we got Pokemon X and Y, they gave the Kanto starters Megas instead of the Gen 6 starters. So maybe this time they give Dragonite, the Gen 1 Pseudo-Legendary, a Mega and ignore Goodra? I'd hate that and it'd feel weird, but now I'm not as confident. Wasting a Mega on Aromatisse and Slurpuff, that would disgust me. I don't think they should do it. I don't want to see it. And same with Meowstic. You know, we got the 2 gender, forms there. What are we gonna do? Like 1 Mega, a Mega for each? I don't think so. I feel like it's either gonna be Pyroar or Go-Goat that gets a Mega. And I think my gut says Go-Go. I'm putting Go-Go in the PM7 guarantee, and I'll put Pyroar into I See the Vision. I See the Vision on Florges. I feel like it's a standout of Gen 6. Might be a little bit too powerful and unnecessary to do this, so maybe they overlook and go to something else, but they have a few broken Megas, so maybe. And speaking of broken Megas, Mega Aegislash could be one of the most ridiculous things they've ever created. And for that reason, I only see the vision. I can see the vision on Pangoro. I can definitely see the vision there, but I'd rather Scrafty personally. Malamar is very interesting. I need to like look at the Gen 3 megas and see. This is starting to get difficult, so I'm gonna make some easy calls. Enough with the table. Enough. No mega, yes, dragon. No mega, yes, dragon. No Pika clones. None of those. I don't know how Gourgeist would work with all of the different forms, so I'll put that into enough already. We have enough forms. We got Mega Diancie, so I think they would leave Carbink alone for that reason. It would be pretty disgusting, actually, to get Mega Carbink. I think I'm gonna put it there. I feel confident putting it there. But now I'm out of easy options. This is where it gets tough. We got 18 new Megas in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so I think I want my guarantee section to have 18 exactly, so that I really force myself to make some tough decisions and I can see how many are correct. So I may have to trim by the end of the video, but I'm gonna make some calls now and we can go back later. I see the vision on Malamar, but I don't feel like it's gonna happen. I at least see the vision on most of these. Barbaracle really fits that pretty well. I think there's a chance we could get Mega Dragalge if we do not get Mega Goodra. We did get Hisui and Goodra, and I kind of overlooked that, so maybe it's one or the other. I don't know. I'll have to make that decision at some point. I don't think Claw Itzer, but I still see the vision at least a bit. I think there's something with Helioptile.
Who's that Pokemon?
I think there is. Or Heliolisk. I messed up its name. I think that's a bad omen. I'm putting it here. I have brought up these fossils a bit. I could see them getting megas. I just have a feeling with these, and I have a feeling with one more. Hawlucha is an incredibly cool Pokemon, and I feel like a mega could take it to a whole nother level. I'd at least like to see it. I don't think we're gonna get a Mega Klefki. If we do, sure. I don't know. I don't think it'd bother me too much. It'd be kind of funny. Trevenant would be really cool. I can see the vision there. I think that would be sick. And then Noivern, maybe there's more of a chance we get Mega Noivern than Dragalge. I don't know. I may need to make some changes. Well, let's do the legendaries first. Weirdly, I think I'm gonna put this in I see the vision. It'd be weird to have Xerneas and I see the vision. I'm gonna do it for both of the legendaries. Like I could see it, but I'm not banking on it. But we are getting something for Zygarde. And if we're bringing back Megas and it's Pokemon Z, I think Zygarde, you have to pencil it in as a Mega. You just have to, right? There could be something with Hoopa, so I'm gonna put that in I see the vision too. But Volcanion's very easy, the legend dump. But now I can't be a coward and I have to make some final decisions. 20 Mega predictions already in my PM7 guarantee slots. And that may just be too many. Oris had 18. We're not gonna get like 26. I may need to make some cuts. It's a late change, but I think it's an important change. I'm going to move the Gen 4 starters down to please, 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 please. And there's a good reason for it. In Pokemon X and Y, we got 4 starter Pokemon, the 3 Kanto ones, and then weirdly Blaziken. And then Omega Ruby, we got the other 2 Gen 3 starters. So by the time we got 2 games with new Megas, we had 2 sets of Mega starters. It might be too bold to expect 2 sets of Mega starters in one game, but I really don't want the Gen 4 starters to be left out. So I'm really hopeful they give 2 sets of starters Megas, but if I had to bet on 3, it's gonna be the Gen 6 ones. I'm sticking with my gut with Goodra. I'm gonna put this down into I see the vision. I think I'm done tweaking now. We have 16 options in PM7 guarantee, and that feels right. If I find a way to go 0 for 18, that would be something special. But now it's time to talk about Generation 7. We've already gotten a regional form for Decidueye, so I think we can just put the rest of these guys here. I think that's safe. And the rest of these Pokemon are gonna be kind of interesting. I don't know how much they're gonna delve into the newer generations. I'm not gonna completely ignore them and leave them out, but it is gonna be a little fascinating to see. Toucannon's a pretty cool Pokemon. I don't really expect it to happen, but I can see the vision. I mean, toucans are sick. This guy, I think he'd be a fun choice. This would disgust me. What are we doing here? Now this may be a please, 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 please. I love Vikavolt. I think it's one of the coolest early route Pokemon we've ever gotten. I don't know if I'm ready to guarantee it, but I would love it. Grab, I don't know, sure. All right. We have enough forms of these guys. Rabombe! I think this would be an interesting option for a Mega. I can really see the vision on Rabombe. I can really see the vision. It's a fairy type. They're they're probably gonna give some fairy type a mega. Do we have a fairy type on this list? Ooh, that is worth noting. I think a fairy type will get a mega. Maybe it will be Rabombe. Lycanroc's got enough forms. I think Wishy-Washy's too unique to get a mega. I think we can put that into enough already, even though it's pretty forgotten about already. I'm sorry. Mega Toxapex would be disgusting, revolting. No. But I think we need Mega Mudsdale. I think we do need Mega Mudsdale. I think this is a need, not a want. Araquanid's a pretty cool Pokemon. I can see the vision. Lurantis is the biggest chore possible. Shiinotic would disgust me. I said they're gonna give a fairy type a mega, it being this one. No. Salazzle's pretty cool. I feel like I'd rather Vespiquen be the one that gets the mega of like the only can evolve if it's female. But where doesn't really move me. I think this is actually a shore. I don't even know if I can see the vision. I'm pretty undecided on Serena. It makes me think of Hisui and Lilligant, so maybe for that reason they wouldn't do it, but they could also go a completely different direction. So I'm gonna put it into shore. I don't see Comfey at all. I don't. If they did it though, I guess. I don't know. I don't think they can mega evolve one without the other, so I guess sure. Elisipod is a very cool Pokemon. I don't think it needs a mega, and for that reason, I actually think I might put it into shore. Palisand, I do really like as a Pokemon. It's kind of odd the way it's been associated with me, but I can see the vision here, and actually, I'm gonna put this into please, 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 please. Because I think its mega could be super cool. I think there's a lot they can do with the design, and it's a Pokemon that could really benefit from a mega. Mega Pyukumuku could only disgust. There's just nothing else there. Silvally is interesting. I think it's technically considered a legendary. I'm gonna put it into the buzz off tier, not because I dislike it, but just because it's confusing me. I don't really know its classification, and I don't really want to look into it. I have so many other Pokemon to look through. Mega Minior would go crazy, and it rolls off the tongue. I think I'm gonna put that into, I see the vision. I always wanted a Koala Pokemon, but Kamala is a bit forgettable at this point, so I think it would be really nice to see this thing get a really powerful mega. Mr. Turtonator. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna put it into shore, because we have a decent amount of dragon Pokemon that don't evolve, and this would be the most random one to choose. No Pika clones. Mimikyu is so unbelievably popular. If we get any Pokemon from Gen 7, Gen 8, or Gen 9 in Legend ZA, they will be regional forms or mega forms. I think that's the only way we see them in this game, and I don't think this would be anything but a regional form. It just seems like the easiest regional form. Ruxus would be very funny to me, and maybe only me. So I'm actually gonna put it into I See the Vision just for my own amusement. I don't think we're gonna get anything for Drampa. I do really like Delmise. I can see the vision here. I think it would be really cool. I can't see it with Kamou in this game. I really can't. I'm actually going to put this into regional forms. If we see Kamou, I think the only chance is as a regional form, just like we got Gudra. Excuse me for one moment. I'm not gonna waste your time on every individual legend in Gen 7. I really think we're only going to get one Gen 7 Mega if we even get one, and maybe 2 regional forms if we don't get a Mega. Before we move to Gen 8, I'm putting Rabombe into the PM7 guarantee slot. I'm not gonna be a coward. We need to have at least one fairy Pokemon in this tier. And Rabombe is just speaking to me. You know, maybe it's just that I kind of want it to get a Mega. I think it deserves one. It's whispering sweet nothings about Mega evolutions into my ear, and I'm trying to tell it I have no say on this. Like, none at all. Or do I? No, I don't. But with that, it's time to move on to Gen 8, and I think I'm gonna try to move through the next 2 generations a little bit quicker, as I don't really have a lot of faith that either of them are going to get a Mega, and if they do, I think it would just be one combined for the 2 of them. I had predicted we'd get Mega Cinderace. That's obviously not happening, and if we see them at all, I think the only chance would be regional form, so I'm just gonna throw them here. Squovit would disgust me. Corviknight's good enough. We already got G-Max Orbeetle. Enough with that. Thievul is a Pokemon. It sure is. Sure. I was thinking Cinderace could get a Mega because of soccer, or I should say football. So it'd actually be kind of funny if Dubwool just became a giant soccer ball. So I'm gonna put that into I See the Vision. You already got enough, my turtle friend. There's a lot of electric Pokemon similar to this guy that could get Megas, and I don't think this is gonna be the one. So we've gotten enough of you, and we've gotten enough of these 3 as well. Any Gen 8 Pokemon that got a Gigantamax form has no chance of getting a Mega in these games. I feel very confident about that. And actually, for that reason, Maybe I just move up the starters in this game to enough already. Like, they got something in their games. What do the Gen 6 starters get? Cramorant would be a very, very funny option, and I actually really love that, so I'm gonna put that into I See the Vision. Ooh, Barraskewda. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, that's just a Shore. I just kind of wanted to do what I just did. I've already said the G-Max rules. Enough already. Enough already. Enough already. Enough. I already brought up G-Max. I'm just gonna put every single one of those Pokemon in enough already. They already got something, okay? But speaking of already got something, there's a lot of these Pokemon that are just cool evolutions or new forms, and I think they all fit into enough already. Actually, I say that, but another Meowth anything would disgust me. They're just too much Meowth. There is one Pokemon I feel needs it above any other ones, and it's Grapploct. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I really hope they do. And then personally, I just really hope they give Phalanx a Mega. I love Phalanx. It's so good. Give them a Mega. It'd be great. This would disgust me. Hey, possible. I could see it. Maybe. Stonejourner's interesting. I feel like it may get something at some point. Ice-Q is very fun, but I actually think this next batch is all enough. They all got different forms, whether it's their ability, gender, a move, or all the different fossils. I think enough with them. And outside of the legendaries, there's really just one Pokemon to look at, being Dragapult. But if we get this, like Komodo, I think it would be a regional form, just like the Hisuian Gudra. These legends are definitely going into the dump, so I think it's about time we look at the other Legends game Pokemon. I think it would be incredibly cool to do something in Legends ZA with one of the Legends Arceus special Pokemon. But as I look at all of these options, I just don't see how they would do anything. They did give us Blood Moon Ursaluna, which was very, very cool. So there is a chance. I think if they did anything, it would be with like Basculegion. Gen 5 Pokemon really haven't gotten much love, and I do think ZA may want to give some love to some Gen 5 Pokemon. I'm gonna put it into I Can See the Vision, if nothing else. But the rest of them really only fit in enough already. But with that, we're on to the final generation, and I think I'm gonna attack this generation a little bit differently than the rest. There are so many Pokemon here that there's just no chance we're gonna get a Mega for. So I think I'm going to move all of those pretty quickly and then look at what's left and see if anything's really speaking to me. As you can see, a lot of Pokemon immediately went into the enough already category. And I put a lot of the legendaries in here already, but we are left with a pretty interesting group of Pokemon. Now, I do think this is something that would only be a regional form. Tatsugiri and Dondozo go together, so I don't think we'd get both of them. Armarouge and Ceruledge are really cool, but I think we've gotten enough with both of them. I think a Mega would ruin this gimmick from Household. There's enough Squawking Billies. Palafin is already kind of a Mega. Enough already with that. And I think that leaves me a pretty solid list. But which one of these would get a Mega? Doxbun? That's a please, 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 please. I just love Dachshunds. I've always wanted a Dachshund Pokemon. I love this thing so much, and a Mega Dachshund would make me so happy. But speaking of Pokemon I really, really love, there's Bellibolt. And I feel like they've pushed Bellibolt pretty hard within the game through promotional materials. If we got a Gen 9 Mega, is it possible it would be Bellibolt? As for the rest of these, oink oink, sure. I'd actually be pretty happy if either of these guys got a Mega, so I could see the vision. I wouldn't like it if this got a Mega, actually. I think that would disgust me a little bit. I could see the Olives getting a Mega. Salt Monster. Mega Salt Monster. Kilowattrel's pretty fun, why not? I love this story with this guy. I think a Mega would be cool, but we could also keep it the way it is. I could see it. I actually don't know if I could see this one. This one might be a Shore. It'd be kind of funny if this got a Mega, but it would just be bigger Tumbleweed. I don't think we need that one. Rock Crab Mega would be cool. I could see the vision there. For obvious reasons, I haven't spent a long time thinking about what Gen 9 Pokemon need Megas or need new forms. The games are just so new. I'm just happy with the Pokemon. But Scovillain is a Pokemon I love and I do think could get better. So I do actually think I'm gonna put that into please, 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 please. Come on, please do it. It's so cool. This bug went from Rolling Poop to Rolling Psychic Energy, and I don't think I need to know what the next form is. Tinkaton is a sleeper pick for a Mega. I actually kind of want to put it into my guarantee, but I've already made my decision. I think this would be my second choice if we get a Gen 9 Mega. And for the rest of these guys, I at least see the vision, so I'm just gonna put them there. Maybe they prove me wrong with Gen 9 and we get multiple Megas from this generation, but I'd honestly be shocked if we even got one thing in these games from Gen 9. So I didn't spend as much time on these, and I hope that doesn't bother you too much. And with that, every single possible Pokemon I believe could get a Mega has now been tiered. 18 Pokemon across all of the generations to mirror Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire that gave us 18 new Megas. I hope I got a few right, but if I'm very, very wrong, I hope they take a few of the Pokemon from the please, please, please category. I mean, they got to announce a new Mega at some point soon, right? We'll see soon enough, but as we wait for that, you should click on this video. And whatever is here is a fantastic option. It's the best one for you. Determined by an algorithm. I don't know, click, we'll have fun, click it.